Hi guys and welcome back to another Starcraft Remastered replay for you. As once again we have a very interesting engagement from the South Korean scene, as we have spawned here in the upper left part. In the red it is Flash with his AK Eros quality and his opponent here in the lower right. In the white it is CKDT KA, but this is of course the AK from Best, one of the strongest Protoss in his prime here. A very interesting engagement indeed. Both players from South Korea spawning here on a 4 spawning location map. So yeah, quite interesting stuff here. Once again we have Flash after we've seen him in a very good game versus Queen, a 45-minute game versus Queen. Quite a great game, which is also available here on this channel. Let's see how he does now versus one of the best Protosses there is. And he of course opens up pretty standardly with a supply depot next to his base. Same can be said here by Best with his pylon, however this time next to his base as well. So Best not deciding to go for a fast expansion. He is very likely going to add a gateway. And also notice the position here for the pylon. I believe this could give him a boost towards his probes that are mining the gas from this location. So yeah, Protoss versus Terran it is. Is it going to be massive amounts of gateway units here for the Protoss? Is it perhaps going to be carriers for him? We're about to find out. And what exactly is Flash going to be doing? Opening up here with his barracks, but then again later on many Terrans like to go for those tanks, for the vultures and Goliaths. Is this indeed going to be here the strategy for Flash, or maybe he's going to try some dropship harassment with some marines, with some stim? Very rare, but also a possibility for him as he's moving out with his SCV, his first scouting SCV out on the map. Production tab like always in the upper left part, and we can also see the worker count here for both players. APM also very high for these two pros as they're now scouting the map. And the lucky scout move out here by Best, I believe, is heading straight into the upper left part where Flash is located, and is also adding a expansion here. So expansion without any pylon, without any forge, straightforward gameplay here by Best. Sees now the expansion also here from Flash. So Flash without scouting, heading also straight into an expansion. A very greedy gameplay here by him. I really like that. And yeah, in comes the probe. So yeah, both players looking like they're going for a macro orientated game early on, just preparing their economy. And yeah, Flash, sadly for him with a bad scout, has to now move out towards the lower right part of the map. So yeah, the first marine is out chasing the probe away. I believe it's only one barracks. Yes, he needs barracks, and gas has been also done here by him. Both expansions are pretty much going to finish at the same timer. Let's check the Protoss. This should be of course the cybernetic score for those dragoons. We might try to harass Flash a little bit as the expansion has been finished. There is Flash's expansion, so both players get pretty much the same worker count here. So yeah, pretty standard stuff. Flash might try to add a bunker just to give more protection for his expansion. And yeah, standard stuff. Let's have a look. This should be his factory. Many more factories should follow of course, or could it be a starport like I told you with dropships? Maybe we're going to be seeing some battle cruisers. It would be very interesting to see finally some battle cruisers of a Terran to go versus the Protoss. And yeah, the game keeps on going as we see the second gateway here for the Best. So indeed it is going to be very likely massive amounts of gateway units here for him. Zealots, dragoons, maybe later on an arbiter, maybe some carriers. Let's have a look. Mass scouts could also be a possibility, like we've seen Snow do this sometimes. Upgrade goes out here for the dragoons, and Flash should be making his first vultures, first tanks very soon. This is actually his second factory, so he is indeed going to go for massive amounts of mech units as we close in slowly but steadily towards the 5-minute mark. Yeah, it's going to be tanks, Goliaths, vultures. Early on it should be massive amounts of vultures, just to give more protection towards the expansion points, as we see a patrolling dragoon here for Best. So Best not deciding to attack yet, he's just patrolling, he's just scouting for some mines, giving more vision onto the map, even having this one pylon. So he's of course considering a drop by Flash into this location with marines, with a dropship, adding more buildings, having a robotics facility bay nicely hidden here. We might see him also go for some dropship harassment as more units of course are getting produced, more dragoons, vultures, speed also is being done. for Flash's vultures, as the first vulture is out, heading out on the map. Already 36 workers here for Best, so Best with an early greedy gameplay, with a very macro oriented game, as we have 3 Dragoons out, but this should be, Flash should be okay if he's pulling out some SCVs. 3 SCVs have to be pulled out to repair this bunker very soon, and he just needs to be careful not to get sniped by the Dragoons. But hold on, actually Flash is moving out with his SCV, and Best did see this, so his SCV might be taken out very soon as he's getting surrounded now by the Dragoons. So Best, of course, thinking that Flash might go for expansion. Same thing goes here. Flash actually being able to snipe the rope, but he will of course be taking care of those units. And at the same time Flash also expanding. Here we see 4 vultures with speed already out, so this could be very deadly. Remember, Best has no defense here in the front. He's nicely blocking the entrance, but the vultures could of course take care of that island. But yeah, in comes the Dragoons. Good defense here by Best. Best with a great timing defending this expansion. At the same time he has to retreat now, he has to close the door, and at the same time he also has Dragoons into this location, so the vultures are pretty much trapped. They have to land more and more mines down very fast. And remember, there's just observatory has just been finished, so the observer is pretty much now getting produced. Mass Dragoons now here for the Protoss. Many more vultures are actually moving out here for Flash. Going to try of course to snipe as many workers as possible. Remember, he has some mines here. He's trying to place of course as many mines as possible, and he might even try to take out those Dragoons if the mines get some lucky shots here forward. Nice splash damage, but in the end only 1 Dragoon has been killed and 3 vultures as well, as yeah, Flash just keeps on sending out more and more waves of those vulture just to give protection towards his 3rd base. Let's check his main. Still 2 factories, an armory with some upgrades, and an engineering bay. Let's check the Protoss very soon. As the mines are getting cleared, we actually see more. The unit of Forge is being produced, and a Citadel of Adun for the speed of course for the Protoss. So yeah, pretty standard stuff. A very aggressive move out here by Flash, just to buy him some time towards this one expansion here. And there are still just a couple of tanks out. Let's check if some upgrades are being finished. Actually you can see the upgrades here in the upper left part, with some turrets of course against Dark Templars, so it's pretty much mass Dragoons here for the Protoss. No Zealots yet, but I'm pretty sure they will have to follow up very soon as more and more gateways are getting produced, and the upgrades will also start to kick in for the Protoss. We also see a Stargate, so this might be an Arbiter, might be also carriers for the Protoss, as the observers are now moving out on the map just to give vision as what exactly Flash is up to. And Flash with a great economy, same can be said here for Best post players, with a nice very smart gameplay here, as yeah, they're just pretty much standing now still, just producing more and more of those units, even repairing some units here, having tanks, having vultures. Goliaths might follow up soon in case there will be carriers, but right now it's just pretty much going to be mass tanks with vultures here for Flash. As yeah, Best is also moving out. He's going to try to see if there's some mines here, and at the same time I believe he's going to try to take this expansion. So it's obviously a very nice macro game. The same can be said here by Flash, as he's also very likely going to take this base. So around the 10-minute mark, indeed Best is going for another expansion point. So both players playing very defensively, very macro orientated, and yeah, their economy will be kicking on very soon. Very strong economy for both players. Let's just see what their next options are going to be, what exactly this target is going to produce. We actually see Arbiter Tubular, so indeed it is going to be Arbiters. We might see some teleportations here for the Protoss into the expansion points, or even into the main from the production building from the Terran, as we see a science facility of course for EMP shockwave against those Arbiters, with some science vessels. Yeah, let's see, more and more mines are getting laid out here by Flash. Of course we will soon pass the 10-minute mark. Still no major move out here by the Protoss, but this will of course change very soon, as soon as the Arbiter is going to move out. Some Zealots, yes indeed there are the Zealots, will also be sent out. Let's check a look at the upgrades. Still 0-0, same can be said. No, actually he has one weapons upgrade for those tanks. As we see a small move out here by Best towards the center of the map, also securing the transition here from these probes into the expansion points. So yeah, the pretty standard stuff. Flash has those units in the middle, he has good control. The Protoss is very likely going to be needing many more of those observers just to stop the mine production here from the Protoss. So yeah, more is getting added by both players. We're going to have a very strong engagement very soon, as soon as they will pass. Actually, both of them are closing in towards the 200 supply block here very soon. Flash is still trying to place some mines. Some vulture might get taken out. As yeah, the dragoons are just pretty much patrolling here for a Best around, and yeah, the observers will also get nicely spreaded here onto the map. So pretty soon we need to be careful with this one arbiter, as the second fort is going to be added. So Best will just add more of those upgrades very soon. Also moving out, perhaps he's going to secure another expansion point, as the probe is also moving out with him. So yet another expansion here for the Protoss. The Terran is still moving out, but only with vultures on the map. He might try to take out the space, but the dragoons are actually very strong against the vultures. However, there's so many vultures here for Flash, so he's even penetrating here forward with his vultures, with the mines. The dragoons are pretty much surrounded, but they're still very tanky against so many vultures. However, the number is just pretty much overwhelming here for Terran. And yeah, that one mine actually connected with all of those vultures, so lucky mine here for Best. The mine's actually working now versus the Terran versus Flash. At the same time, more dragoons are coming here forward, but you can see how strong the dragoons are. And interesting enough, he's not deciding to move forward. There are two cannons here, of course. Yet another cannon is being added. And yeah, the Protoss actually securing his expansion point into this location, adding more and more cannons here, and even a gateway. So he's going to try to move forward with all of his units, but Flash almost getting supply blocked. Actually, it's Best who's already massive amounts of units, so he is the one who is going to move out a little bit. Flash also slowly but steadily moving out with his tanks, having a science vessel here in the air as he's moving forward just to clear the observers in the air. So now Best at the same time is moving also out here. Let's check the upgrades once again. Only weapons 1. Same can be said here for Flash. So very soon we will see an engagement. Flash does have detection, he needs to be careful with his science vessel not to lose it. And yeah, here we go, the siege tanks now have been sieged up, but the vultures are pretty much in the back. Zealots in the front, very good, but in the end Best decides now to pull back a little bit. It would have been very hard to attack, as the tanks have also been massively spread here for the Terran. We see some probes getting transferred, but the main engagement is of course going to happen here. Some Goliaths also in the air to take care of the observer of the orbiters. Now the Zealots are exactly having a good flank here. This is also of those tanks. The dragoons also taking care of the vultures, so pretty bad situation here for Flash, as he's pretty much getting surrounded. In the end he will hold, but he took quite some damage here. Many units have been lost, but the same can be said here for the Protoss, as the siege keeps on continuing here. Flash keeps on moving forward with his tanks, but the reinforcements are also pouring in here for Best. Other reinforcements will very likely follow up here from this other base, as there now some tanks are a little bit exposed. Not that many tanks are being left alive, just vultures, but yeah, the Best is going to very likely go straight only for the tanks, and yeah, then just retreat a little bit. So quite interesting stuff. Both players still at the same supply block here, as Flash actually keeps on moving forward. He really wants to take out the newly established base. You can even see the reinforcements pouring in forward for him, as now the Arbiter has his position secured, but he did eat a EMP shockwave and now even taking damage out of those Goliaths. The second Arbiter is moving forward, as the reinforcements are pouring forward as well, but tanks are here on the low ground, as we have a dancing vulture here. So this expansion might be taken out very soon. Vultures are in the front. There is detection here for the dragoons, but yeah, probes actually are getting transferred here by Best. So Best pretty much is abandoning the ship there, abandoning the expansion, heading straight into this location. But there is one marine here who detects this, and yeah, the nice move out here by Flash with his tanks, with his vultures. Best still has the expansion here, and I believe he's going to try to build another, but sadly here for him all of those probes are pretty much going to get got here by the vultures. So yeah, big blow here versus Best, losing all of those vultures, trying of course to be sneaky, trying of course to make another building, but at the same time Best is now countering, so he's not going to lose many units. He's going to kill actually these units, but he did lose the expansion. So I believe that was a small mistake here by Best, just to transfer all of those units. In the end the expansion has fallen, a lot of mining time has been cancelled. Still Best however at around 60 of a supply, and at the same time we have yet another army move out here, but the mines are getting some good connections here. Flash once again on the move out with his vultures, adding more and more mines. Best tries his best of course to clear off those mines with his observers, but yeah, those mines are buying some good time here for the Protoss. Sorry, for the Terran, as yeah, more and more mines are getting laid out here for the Terran. The reinforcements are also pulling forward. Once again, EMP shockwave has been used, the Goliaths versus the Arbiters in the air. A great stasis threat now against the units, but he also only catches the vultures. I believe the tanks would have been the main target for those stasis strips. And now more and more is getting added. Nice stasis, nice satellite vision here, and the Protoss just keeps on losing more and more of those Dragoons. So a good engagement this time, but the supply is still strong here for the Protoss, still just producing more and more of those units. And yeah, there are the reinforcements, more Arbiters are getting added. We still see no teleportation here for the Protoss. Perhaps this one Arbiter might try to teleport all of those units here. There are no mines on the ground, there are no tanks here into defending, so we need to be careful with this one Arbiter as he's moving forward. And at the same time the tanks here from the Flash are trying of course to secure this expansion, but the Arbiter is of course going to be the main reason here to be careful. There are no units here into defending. Finally some vultures are getting brought here forward. No mines yet for Flash, but he needs to hurry up. EMP could be his saving grace. We might see finally the units getting dropped here, teleported, but no. Bast is just moving around with his Arbiter, just buying perhaps some time. Perhaps he's going to drop them straight here into the production buildings, or perhaps he's just fooling around here just to force Flash into bringing some units forward. At the same time he's also moving out with some units here. Lots and lots of mines have been added, so Bast deciding not to drop. It would have been of course very hard against so many mines, and we actually see him attack into this location with some zealots in the front, with some dragoons in the back, but the tanks are nicely getting spreaded. However, the reinforcements are now moving forward here for Bast, and great stasis fields now from those Arbiters. Great counter by the Arbiter. Sadly for Flash, he didn't make it with the EMP shockwave, as more and more damage is actually being taken here by Flash, and the tanks also take damage, and there is sadly not that much visibility now as the lance vessels have been killed. So yeah, let's see the great connection here by the Goliaths versus the units, but more and more is getting thrown out here by the Protoss, and this expansion right here is very likely going to fall, as all of those SCVs have to be transferred. But yeah, there will be some casualties here, as they will have to go through a meat grinder here, Protoss meat grinder, and the reinforcements are also pulling forward for Flash. So yeah, the expansion will survive, but at what cost? SCVs are falling, 45 only left here for Flash, as he might even lose this one expansion if it burns down. So let's see what's going to happen here. Yes, indeed, the expansion is going to get lost. At the same time, the Protoss has rebuilt his own expansion. And yeah, it's still anyone's game of course, but Flash has to resecure this expansion, as in the end the Protoss also has some casualties. So the Flash is moving more forward, but there are some units here to reinforce the newly established expansion. At the same time, Bast is coming in from the back, going to try to get a good flank. The siege tanks aren't sieged up, so this could be very good for Bast. At the same time, he's coming forward with his dragoons into this location. So yeah, but so much splash damage out of those mines, and the reinforcements at the same time are moving forward for Flash. So Flash is very likely going to try to kill this base as fast as he can with his units. Yeah, the reinforcements are here for Bast, but they're just into this location. So some dragoons are here, but the tanks will of course siege up very soon, just to take out the position here. The dragoons getting nicely spreaded, nicely microed. But yeah, the tanks on the low ground with siege ability here, just snapping one dragoon after the other. So very nicely done here by Flash, but he has to hurry up of course. He did lose this one important expansion here, so he has to kill the production units here as fast as he can, and even the main base of course. At the same time, we see Bast move out with dragoons, with zealots. Sadly for him, he is going to lose all of those production buildings here, so perhaps it would have been a better idea to build them here into his main next to his main, but I guess he just tried a pincer maneuver with adding units from the lower part. At the same time, we actually see Best now move out with a quite large force into this location. Not that many mines here to connect. 1 or 2 zealots will fall. Let's have a look. The attack is continuing here. Flash just leaving 1 tank, 2 tanks here into attacking this position. At the same time, Best pretty much committing here, but Flash responding with many mines and much splash damage, and tanks now also here to defend the base. But such a great mine connection here, killing so many SCVs once again. So where workers are falling left and right, the zealots are in a great position here, just luring those mines forward, killing so many of those tanks, adding more and more splash damage. So the zealots dealing a great job. Let's just check the upgrades very soon. Armor actually has been added here by the Protoss, and we have 2 to 3 upgrades for the Terran. So yeah, the zealots doing a great job against the Vulture's mines. This time the mines have actually worked against the Terran, against Flash, as the zealots were pretty much there to lure all of those mines into the tanks. And at the same time, this expansion is going to fall for the Protoss, as this expansion as well once again is going to fall for Flash. So Flash rebuilding this expansion here. So but hold on, we actually see a drop here with the Arbiter. What a surprise here, even caught me by surprise. And yeah, he actually made it forward with a Arbiter, and of course this is going to be the winning move for him, as all of those units were on the high ground. They did attack the factories, so Best with a surprising move. I just focused onto the expansions. I believe the same happened here for Flash, and yeah, of course he would have lost so many units because the Protoss had the high ground. The production buildings were already on fire. And yeah, Best with a great Arbiter gameplay here, by him showing us the strengths of the Arbiter gameplay later on, even having so many expansions and securing these expansions. So yeah, Arbiter it was indeed. Drop straight into the production buildings. I believe this is the best option here for a drop. Of course the expansion as well, but expansions are always getting guarded by mines on the ground. However, the main production buildings by the Terrans aren't really that well defended. And sadly here for Flash, he didn't have any turrets here into his main, so quite a surprising move by him. I believe in the next game he's going to play it much better defensively. But yeah, this drop, of course, the Doom drop by Best, giving him the victory. All of the production buildings would have been lost here by Flash. And yeah, Best with a quite surprise move, even catching me off guard. Let's just check the stats once again very quickly. Nice APM, quite a strong game. A good move out here by Flash. He tried his best with the Vultures, with the tanks, gaining some victories, killing some expansions, but in the end the comeback was strong with those Arbiters by Best, winning him the game versus Flash. And yeah, being of course much more mobile with the fast Arbiter teleportation, and the Zealots on the ground moving also very fast. The mines actually working against the Terran this time. So yeah, thank you guys once again for watching. This is Tommy signing out.